let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. 6. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up, and let's go.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. It's so good to have you here on a Tuesday. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com or on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, very much appreciated. Good to have you have us in your cars this morning or wherever you're listening to us on those apps. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We get new subscribers every single day. Like this video and leave your comments in the comments section. And you can follow us on our social media channels, X, Facebook, and, of course, Instagram. Look at our new picture there, Ross. Did you notice that?
You're skinny. You are skinnier. I'm fatter than you. I have more of a belly than you do, Trav. You look great, dude. I like that. Good job, man.
The only thing I wish I would change. What's 1 year? So because the picture we had up before was the state fair before. Yeah. And that was a 1 year, and I'd already lost probably 30 pounds in that other photo. Yeah. I was already down, and but we're gonna have to have Chris Meharry take a different one because I needed to be on the other side because the logo.
Travis and Ross.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm down with that because that gives me some time to get in shape. I was working out for a while, man. You know, Courtney, I've got a membership out at the Altoona campus, and Courtney and I were working out like on a daily basis. Dude, I was looking good for a while.
Why are you letting yourself go?
I've been busy. I really am. Like, I just don't. It is legitimately, you know how it is, Trav. We sit down in the morning and I write down my schedule for the day. I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to fit stuff into today. So get into the gym. And I even built a little gym in my basement for Eli and I. So there's no excuse. The time is not an excuse, dude. The time's not an excuse. I have time to sit down and scroll on my phone. I'd have time to go down there and do some stuff.
Now, for the record, you don't look bad. You just happen to compare yourself to me right there. Where
Who's
you're
looking damn good.
You're like, yeah. But here's the deal.
I'm happy for you, buddy.
You know, I had a slimming shirt on, and it was just
slimming. Wait a minute, like Spanx?
The light. I'm not wearing Spanx, though. Okay. I used to have a pair of Spanx. You know, Spanx for guys. I think I have
remember this.
One of those in there. I'm like, okay, pull that thing up there and tuck it in, suck it in.
I bet because they were super duper tight. I bet they'd still fit you.
They may actually stay up now. I was so fat before when I was wearing them that the Spanx would go down underneath my belly. I'm like, well, why didn't I buy these? Because they're not staying over my belly.
They would just roll down
just roll down. It's kind of like when you go to a clothier. You know, have you ever been fitted for like pants? You ever go to a clothier?
I don't think I've ever been. I mean, you know, like friend's wedding, go to a tuxedo shop.
Well, they always measure your waistline at your belly button because your trousers are supposed to go up to your belly button. Yeah. Well, mine don't go to my belly button. They go underneath my fat rolls and they naturally, the only way I'm going to keep my pants up that high is if I'm wearing suspenders. And I may be a grandpa now. I'm not wearing suspenders. I'm just not going to.
I'm going to be a suspenders guy.
Are you really?
Absolutely. I don't know. I think it's a look I could pull off, but what a pain in the ass those things are.
Exactly.
I mean, what a pain in the ass. But I've got no butt at all. And as I get older, I think the suspenders might be the only way I'll be able to keep my pants up.
Did you have anybody in your family that was a suspender person? My grandpa was a suspender guy. Wore suspenders every single day.
I come from a long line of flat assers, so let me think about it. I don't remember a suspender wearer in the family. But
you know, are they still fashionable to a point? Do you see many people with suspenders anymore?
Not much. No. No, but my father was a flat asser. My mother's father was a flat asser. Most of the Peterson men have been flat assers. So,
is your brother a flat asser?
He's got a little bit of booty. Not much. Not much. He has back problems. I think with the back problems comes the flat booty.
A lot of people saying, the bibs. Do you think you could pull off the bib look? The overalls?
Man, to me, the bib look is more. So the suspender look is for the skinny flat asser, right? The bib look is for the Uncle Jesse. The bib look is for the 2022 Travis.
I would agree with that. Because the bibs kind of hide the beer belly a little bit, right?
What is it? It's not a slimming look. It's a I've embraced it look.
You've given up look.
Not given up. I've embraced it.
And I think you get the bibs at like Baumgars, you get them at Tractor Supply.
I think that you can get the bibs a lot of places. I love Baumgars. Baumgars.
I could get lost in a Baumgars store. I really
all
could.
Of those, dude. All of those. Menards.
What is it about Menards, Tractor Supply, Baumgars? You walk in and I'm not a farmer. But I could just sit there and get lost. They have candy you haven't seen in years. You're like, oh,
Fleet
look
Farm.
at that. Yeah,
Fleet Farm is another. You walk in there and you can go, I don't need it. I need all this stuff. I go into those stores and do you remember when Tim Allen was really blowing up before Home Improvement? He had a stand-up special. It was one of the first stand-up specials that we had on like VHS that we watched as kids around the house. But one of his things was how he'd go into a hardware store and he's like, can I become a different person? That was where his whole thing of like, grunting,
Because it makes you feel like a man. Maybe that's what it is. It makes you feel like a man. I walk into Tractor Supply, and all of a sudden, I can take on the world. I can fix anything. I can grow anything. I can mow anything. I'm like, oh, look at that. Look at that cow gate right there. I have no use for it in the city, but damn it, I want to buy one.
Cow gate in, I get some cows.
Yeah,
I bought a cow gate. I'd get some cows.
Kids, you need a pool. We're buying this. We're buying the horse tank,
buddy. You know me. I saw this meme the other day. It was like, I've got two speeds. One is I will spend $3 over the course of 7 weeks. The other mode is I will spend $8,000 in 3 days. There is no in between. There's no in between. I almost impulse bought a pool the other day.
Were you at Sam's Club? Were you at Costco?
Yeah, Costco had the big pools, like $600. I was like, oh, Courtney's got a flat yard. Walk past the pool. Tim Allen's thing was, what's that? That's a conduit bender. Oh, what's it do? It bends conduit. Oh, I want it.
It's what it is.
Dude, last night, we're going to paint Audrey's room. I took Audrey when we picked out paint swaths, and I got to explain to her how the paint shaker worked. And I was like, oh geeking out.
You might want to wait. Greta, one of her freshman classes at SCAD is color theory. So she's going to learn, color theory.
Audrey's making some bold choices that I'm allowing.
Oh, really? Do tell, because this is, and I'm glad you're letting her do that, because that is a sense of freedom and making a decision. Even though you may disagree with it, you're like, okay, I can always paint over this later.
Yeah. The wall is this. I really do like the wall color. It's like a green. It's like I don't know what. They all have weird names. You know what I mean? It's like a kind of like a lighter green. Okay, but then the accent that she picked with it is pink. Now listen, it does. When I say it, it doesn't sound. It sounds weirder than it looks. So I came home last night with the swath. Actually, I changed. No. She decided against the pink. She decided she wants to go with like this, like a tan. So it's like a, I'll bring the colors up to you. I'm doing a horrible job of explaining it. But now it'll be more like my Boz sign here. It's going to be like a green and a brown together.
And that goes together.
Yeah. We put it on we did a little swath last night and let it dry, and it looks good. So.
Are you going to paint it?
Well, yeah.
So this will get done, in a couple months? Couple years?
All of this done tomorrow.
Wow.
Why do you say that like that? Like I'm a procrastinator of jobs.
I'm just throwing it out there that you might be a procrastinator.
Okay.
Now, will you prime the walls first? You're going to get a primer, or are you just going to go right over with?
I'll probably prime the I won't prime the walls because I'm going green over the top of white walls. But the brown is going over the top of a pink or of an orange, I mean. So I'll probably prime that. We'll see.
Priming, I know you got to prime. Prime always put like 4 coats on it. We're good to go.
And Tyler, thank you so much for saying the thing I didn't want to say. The dude who won't actually pick up a hammer and do anything in his own basement. The dude who every time we ask, oh man, if my kid, if he could just get, if he could just get.
Now, to be
I'm the
fair,
procrastinator. The single dad with 2 kids at home is the procrastinator.
Touche.
Who will have a room painted by tomorrow night.
I will 100% concede exactly what you're saying.
Go ahead.
I have no debate whatsoever. Now, I will say this. If I lifted a finger downstairs, if I did anything downstairs, I would get yelled at by my son. Dad, don't touch anything. You have no idea what you're doing. Don't fuck it up. That's exactly what he would say. Those would be exact words. And then and so I just, like when I go down there and I go, hey, do you need any help? He looks at me and goes, no. The only time, it's like, hey, can you just come hold this for a second? Okay, you can leave now. I know what my limitations are. I know what my strengths are. And going to Tractor Supply, going to Baumgars, that's my strength. Going, God, I wish I could use this stuff. The practice of actually using it does not fall into the category of really fits my strengths.
I think that you have very little faith in me and mine. I remember last year when you were like, Eli's going to make it a shift at JR's. Oh.
I was wrong. Let's be honest. I'm usually more wrong than I am more right.
But I didn't think you were that cynical about people that you liked. Damn.
I know. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. I don't mean to be. Maybe this is the total wrong way to go through life and thinking. I expect the worst, and then when you exceed that, I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Well, despite my incredibly busy day where I've got to get to Willis Automotive, Audrey has her Meet the Teacher night tonight. I will still manage to get part of the room started, and then I will get it finished tomorrow.
That's awesome. And she starts school on Friday, you said?
Yes, she does.
Wow.
On top
That's
of
got to be like the first
summer.
school in the state to start, right?
They start pretty early.
She's going back to that same charter school, right?
Yep. Horizon Science Academy. It's amazing. Love it. New teacher this year, so we'll see. I think new teacher from what she had last year. So.
What grade now?
4th.
Wow. God, I remember holding that little baby in the hospital. Remember the day she was born. Yeah, it hit me over the week. Of course, Abigail had her baby, and Anjanette's going to teach she's got a long-term, and then at the end of September, she's going back to Mississippi for like 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm like, okay, that'll be fun. You'll be able to watch. And then I realized, Greta's going to be gone. I'm going to be in this house by myself for a month. By myself for a month.
You're going to go crazy.
I know I'm going to go crazy. It just hit me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone. And I'll be calling Owen and Lizzie. Do you guys want to come over and like grill hamburgers? No, we don't want to hang out with you. All right. That's fine. Coming up a little bit later on the show at 7 o'clock, Joe Woodley, head coach of the Drake Bulldogs, is going to be joining us. And, of course, the Bulldogs well into practice this fall, getting ready for their first game. I believe they kick off against Upper Iowa to start the season. Then they got a tough stretch, Ross. They hit the road for a couple of Missouri Valley Conference opponents. South Dakota State, not an easy game. South Dakota, not an easy game. Yeah, I mean, you're stacking the deck right away. But I tell you what, it's a good challenge. And we'll talk to Joe Woodley about that. We do have some changes happening in Iowa City. And that is, if you've been to Kinnick Stadium in the last couple of years, I think in 2021, they put the Duke Slater Field emblem at the 25-yard line. So, of course, it's Kinnick Stadium and Duke Slater Field. The Duke Slater story, well documented. He's got a statue out in front of Kinnick Stadium, and he was honored with the Duke Slater Field emblem. But because the NCAA has changed its rules and is now allowing corporate logos on the field, Ross, they are moving the Duke Slater emblem from the 25-yard lines to the north and south end zones. And they did a big PR release yesterday saying this is by no way the name of the field isn't changing. Nothing's changing. It's still, we're just moving the location. I don't have a problem with it. It's the day and age we live in. I would expect a lot more corporate logos to be popping up all around basketball courts, football fields, all over the place because of the situation we're in now with trying to draw more revenue in to pay the bills.
I mean, Travis, at some point the conversation had to be had. We could sell the naming rights. We could have a giant Mid-American logo on the outside of the, and we're going to have one at the 25-yard line.
Yes.
We could also sell the name of the field rights. Isn't the field at Jack Trice called the Mid-American Field?
Yes, it is Mid-American Energy Field at Jack Trice Stadium.
Mid-American Energy Field. And again, Mid-American, not a monopoly. Not a monopoly. So they have to spend your dollars to advertise because you've got options. So they're gonna sell. I mean, like at some point, somebody in the room said, "I love this Duke Slater thing. The name is great. We could go to Stein Seed. We could call there. This could be the Pioneer Field."
Well, they're not going to do that. It's going to stay Duke Slater Field.
I know they could. What I'm saying is, I'm betting that conversation happened. At some point, they said, hey, we are leaving money on the table by leaving this thing as Duke Slater Field, so let's at least move it to the end zone so we can sell that logo. And I do think over time that there will be a conversation about somehow shoehorning a sponsor onto the Duke Slater Field. The Pioneer Duke Slater Field.
Makes sense, right?
It's the world that we kind of live in. Everybody wants more money. Everything's more expensive. Every year it's more expensive. It's either that. I mean, like, it's not like ticket prices are going to go down or concession prices are going to go down once they sell this additional logo. So it's not like it benefits the fans in really any way, but in some way, it kind of takes some of the weight off the shoulders, I guess. I don't know. Sure, I'm okay with it.
I remember a time, and you may remember this time, that Major League Baseball stadiums did not have advertisements on the outfield walls. There was a time when you'd go to a Major League Baseball stadium and there were no advertisements. That was basically reserved for minor league parks. You're like, okay, minor league parks have advertisements all over the place. Now Major League Baseball fields have advertisements all over the place. It's just the way you have to generate revenue, and you're looking for every little piece of property to add revenue. And sooner or later, to me, I bet the 50-yard line comes into place sooner or later.
What's not for sale? So again, it doesn't bother. I saw this yesterday, and I don't know if were people upset about it. I didn't see.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was just. It's one of those just alterations you're going to see. Shows you when the NCAA says, okay, now you can officially sell advertisement on your field. You're going to see this at probably every college football stadium around. Hell, if I'm Drake, I'm going to go up and try to sell something at the 25-yard line.
Absolutely.
And Iowa State got around theirs I forget how they got around the NCAA rule a couple years ago, but they were able to do it maybe a little bit faster than everybody else. But just don't be surprised. And when you see it, it'd be interesting to see who it is. I don't think they announced who's going to be at the 25-yard line. I'm trying to figure out, what do you think the value on something like that is?
Boy, but Trav, these are the questions I ask you. These are the questions I ask you, and you're usually a lot closer to. So over the course of the season,
to me, I would not accept anything but a multi-year deal. I wouldn't accept anything less than a 5-year deal. You get this for 5 years.
But let's break it down per year. But per year, $50,000 a year,
6 home games. I would probably put it at between $500,000 and $800,000 a year.
A year, $500,000 a year to put your logo on the 25-yard line. You're probably right with that, Travis. Honestly, you're probably right with that. Yeah, it's prime real estate. Now, it's not like naming an arena. The Casey Center. No, but you're on TV a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot of exposure right there.
And for me,
you're way better at this than I am.
Well, it's like, okay, who gets the most value? If you're an Iowa-only company, does that benefit you? It does, because you have a captive audience. But if you're on a national TV audience, is there somebody national?
Yeah, you could sell that thing to it. You could sell that to a national company.
Yeah,
there's big dollars you can go after there. Corey, our buddy Corey from Bats and Bugs says we should. He says a Rush logo would look sweet on the Drake 50-yard line.
Go to Brian Hart and say, how much would it cost to put the Rush logo on the field?
We'd like to put a toilet paper roll on the 50-yard line.
Brian, can we make this happen?
Brian says, this is why my head hurts when I see your name pop up on my phone. Those questions. Can we do a fat and fit games? Can we bring a bunch of idiots down there to your sacred hallowed ground and make a mockery of track and field? Well, when you put it that way, guys.
Not a mockery. We just want everybody to become exposed to track and field in a certain way that is funny.
Again, the genesis of that was wonderful, because the genesis of that was that person that ran that really slow 100-yard dash. Remember, Travis, do you remember the video of this? We got to find this and play it, dude. The video of it is like shockingly hilarious. This guy that was like his country's minister of competition, right? They let him be in charge of who got to compete for the Olympics and who got to do all the stuff. And he basically put his niece in the 100-yard dash of this Olympic qualifier. She's like 28 years old. She has never run a sprint in her life. And they fight, and you don't know that. You don't know that until they fire the gun. You don't know which one of the runners on the line you're supposed to be watching until the gun fires. And 7 of the 8 runners come blasting out of the gates. And an 8th runner stands up and begins the journey.
Got the stopwatch going. Think we could walk this faster.
It's almost so bad that there's the sympathy clap for her as she gets towards the finish line.
It's like everybody's like cheering her on just to finish. Just to finish.
Oh, I was that kid. I hated it. Don't clap. Just don't clap. I know I'm out here. I'm trying to.
What are you clapping for? Honestly, just the fact that I finished? I mean, is that the reason you're clapping?
You're just encouraging me to continue, and I should probably quit.
Yeah, the Rush logo on the Grandview Court. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Unless Choice Creative wants to flip the bill for it.
Travis, Choice Creative could probably find out for us what the dollar amount is on that logo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of stuff that they go and look at and price. And
it's all about the almighty dollar. Almighty dollar.
You see Alan's comment. He says, "Hey guys, be careful with that running motion." See what it looks like? Do you know what skiing is?
No.
Never mind. Good.
Is that a euphemism for something?
Yeah.
Elbows in.
No. Imagine the hand motions. You're doing the hand motion. There you go. There, okay. But yeah. So that's you're a little closer there. Be careful.
I try. Oh man. Hey, don't forget that you can pump it up with unleaded 88. It's cheaper, it's cleaner, it's greener. It's a greener fuel choice. Iowa Corn. There would be a good 25-yard logo.
Oh,
Iowa
that would
Corn.
be. That's one that would be in that run for it, Travis. Absolutely. Yeah.
Make it a clear winner at the pump. So pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org for more. Again, Joe Woodley joining us at 7 o'clock. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
I love working with guests because I'm a people person. I love helping solve issues.
I like working with guests is the little conversations you have back and forth prior to what you recommend. People from other parts of the United States, you know.
All the guests are super nice. They're very friendly.
Just meeting new people along the way, I think it's kind of fun.
My favorite part working about Willis is the environment. I love all my coworkers.
The cars we see here, I like the old vintage cars that we get.
Honestly, I just love the culture here. I love that it feels like it's a family-run company, because it is.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. You heard Ross say he's going to go to Willis later on this morning. We stopped by Willis Automotive on Friday, had a nice conversation with Jason Willis and the team at Willis Automotive. I tell you what, don't think that a luxury car is out of your reach because, or a Nissan or a Chevy, they have such a wide selection, and the staff at Willis is absolutely amazing. And the truth is, when you buy a car, you're part of a relationship, and it trickles down from the buying experience all the way to the service experience. And I take it you're going to do a service call today, Ross?
I am. Yep. Headed back out there. Our buddy Josh dropped this line on you, and he gave credit back to one of my dear friends, Ryan. Sales sells the first car, service sells the next 10. Right. And that is, man, they live by that mantra. And we've also talked about this one too. When you go there for service, one of the things that they kind of try to live by is act like your mom pays, or your mom has to drive the car and your dad has to pay the bill. Make it safe, but make it so that when you get, you're not going to get walloped by that sticker. They have so much stuff that they offer, Travis. They can do detailing on your car. If you're wanting to get it cleaned up here before we head back in to the school year or something like that, end of summer cleanup, that'd be a great thing to do. All sorts of wonderful stuff. And you're right, man. They've got I didn't realize they sold as many used cars as they do. I always kind of, even me knowing as much as I do about Willis, I still have some preconceived notions. I think that they're just selling brand new Cadillacs, and then
Lexus, Infiniti,
and you get out there and you realize, oh, there's so much more happening out here. Yeah, they're a Nissan dealership. They're a Nissan service. I love the Nissan commercial, Travis. Do you see the guy? So it's like the second guy that they're talking to. He has two clips. In the second clip, the guy that's in the background, you see him, he's on his computer, and he obviously gets back. He goes like this, and he goes. Every time that one's playing, I'm watching that dude. It's so great. You can see him. He's working, and he's like, that part's not here.
How do I find that part?
Yeah, it's like,
but they'll get it. They found Ross a license plate light, so he's going to go have the license plate light replaced today.
Because God forbid I get pulled over for that. Man, I got
pulled over for that. Do you need a light on your license plate?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Dude, I've learned all sorts of stuff. That's why I love being. It's such having Sergeant Paul Parizek as a contact. Boy, it's come in handy a lot in my life. This is
Paul,
one of those,
I need your help.
I call him with the dumbest stuff. I call 5-0 with the dumbest things. Well, we're having conversations at the office about like what drugs are the most common drugs in Des Moines. I guess weed, and then probably cocaine. Then meth.
Oh, I bet it's painkillers. I bet it's the West Des Moines soccer mom and the.
So the first, so then
Oxycontin.
You get about 3 minutes into a conversation like this, and I'm the guy that's like, "Hey, I know a guy that might know the answer." I call him. Hey, 5-0. Hey, just so you know, you're on speakerphone.
Which he loves. He absolutely loves being on speakerphone. Everybody loves being on speakerphone.
How about this? Audrey, one day we're driving down the road, and Audrey, I don't remember what it was, an apple core, an orange peel, she'd eaten grapes and she had the stem, some sort of food, thing. And she's like, Dad, what can I do with that? I said, oh, stuff like that, honey, that's okay to throw out the window, because it's an animal is going to clean that up. That's fine. We don't throw anything else out the window. Something didn't feel right about that, so I call 5-0. I'm like, hey, 5-0, Audrey and I are in the car. She's getting ready to throw this orange peel, or she did throw this apple core out the window. Did we just litter? He's like, yes, you did.
Even though it's biodegradable,
Yes.
even though it dissolves?
Even though it's biodegradable, you cannot. He says, even if I see you throw your gum out the window, I have the right to pull you over for that. He goes, now, obviously, in Des Moines, we don't pull people over for stuff like that. But if we're trying to pull you over and you throw something out the window, we can use that as a reason to do it. And if we see you do, and so the law is, do not throw stuff out of your window. And then
include your cigarette butt. So if you're still smoking in your car, and roll down your window and flick the butt out, don't do that. That's littering.
And then what was the other one? I called him for the other day that was really dumb. I don't remember now.
By the way, you think they're dumb. I guarantee he's heard a lot of questions that are more off the wall than yours.
The last one was one that he was surprised by the answer of. Okay? I think I told you this one, dude. This happened while I was during the winter when I was unemployed. Furloughed.
Yeah. You
laid off.
You weren't fired.
I was laid off.
You were furloughed because
my position was eliminated. I'm driving down the freeway and I'm on 235, and I see a ambulance coming up behind me. Okay, happens a lot. The way that I interpreted that always was get out of their way. Don't pull over and stop on the side of the interstate. You're on the freeway. You don't pull
there's
over.
Like 4 lanes. I get over to if I can get over the far right. But
or
I
get
do
out
slow
of
down.
Whatever lane they're in. Get out of that lane is kind of is the rule, I think, right? But one day I'm driving and out of the blue, cars are like diving for the shoulder, and I mean like 6, 7 cars slamming on their brakes and diving for the shoulder, and then they're all trying to get back onto the freeway at the same time as cars are coming up behind them at 65 miles an hour. I'm like, this is dangerous. I saw that 2 days in a row. People pulling over on the freeway when a cop was coming, when an ambulance was coming out, like coming to a stop. So I called Parizek and I'm like, hey, Sergeant Parizek, golly, guy has a title. Call Sergeant Parizek and I say, hey, am I in the wrong or are they in the wrong? And he's like, no, dude, you're not supposed to you don't have to pull over and stop on the freeway. And he's like, as he's talking to me, he's like, hold on, I'm going to type this up. I know where it's at and he pauses and he goes, dude, you are supposed to pull over. Even on the freeway.
Even on the freeway.
That's, and he's like, this doesn't seem right, because he had the same thought I did. Like, it's not pulling over that's so dangerous. It's the getting back on. Because now you got cars coming up behind you at freeway speeds, and you're trying to pull on where there's not an entrance ramp. Anyway, it seems way more dangerous to have people pull over than just to say yield to the ambulance. Give them the right of way.
Yeah, to me, it's get over as far as I can. The ambulance should be in the far left lane, hauling ass, getting to the hospital or getting to the call. Because you're right, the getting back on the freeway or emerging back in with traffic becomes dangerous at that point.
But this is why I love Sergeant Parizek, why he's the best public information officer we could ever have, because it's always like logic first, right? It's he always applies things of like, okay, if you're throwing an orange peel out of the window, I'm not going to pull you over. And by the way, it's like our department. This is kind of the mantra. This is kind of the attitude. Are you going to have a cop that's having a bad day? Yeah. Are you going to have a cop that wants to pull you over because he thinks you are something you're not, or thinks you are who you are? Yeah.
Of course, we're just a couple weeks away from the kickoff of the college football season. Iowa State and Kansas State are going to kick that off. And this morning, we have a Rush Radio poll up on our X account, which you can follow us at Rush Mornings. And here is the question. And I'm anxious to hear Ross's take on this. What are the most intriguing storylines in college football to start the season? Arch Manning at Texas, Bill Belichick at North Carolina, a new look Colorado, or the first coach fired?
Ooh. Ha. All right. So the Colorado thing, I don't think that I think that's fourth. I think it's a good option. It's a good option on this, but I do think that that's maybe fourth. I think that 3 and 2 are probably attached, and that is the Bill Belichick first coach fired. Wouldn't that be an interest? Because if those two things happen together,
I don't think. Well, Bill Belichick's going to make it through the season. I think. By the way, Bill Belichick leading the poll right now at 58.7%. You have Arch Manning at Texas at 20.6%. First coach fired at 19%, and New Look Colorado at 1.6%. So a lot of people are not intrigued by Colorado.
I would have had I just would have had 1 and 2 swapped there in my mind. As I was doing the math, I was thinking it would go Arch, Belichick 2. First coach fired. And again, if I do think that could be Belichick. Now, it seems like they've gotten it seemed like they had the girlfriend in check. Did you see that she called into a podcast the other day, Travis?
Oh, no, I did not.
Dude.
Because you're right. It was like she dominated the headlines along with Bill Belichick. And then they kind of figured out, and it was through Ross's advice. I don't know if they heard Ross, but Ross was like, you just got to disappear. You've got to shut up. You've got to just don't say anything and become forgotten about. And for the most part, they followed that script. But she called a podcast?
She calls a podcast. I'll see if I can find this story about what it was. Oh, man, I had this. I'll get it. I'll get it.
I struggle with my biggest story. I think Arch Manning is a big storyline because I don't know if we've ever seen a quarterback as hyped as Arch Manning coming out of high school. You're talking about a guy that redshirted his first year, played minimally his second year. It did not go into the transfer portal. Ross, have we seen a quarterback in recent times have as much expectation as Arch Manning and to start as the number one team in the country?
Dude, how about that? What an amazing, there's so much cool stuff with this Texas thing. The first time in school history they've been a preseason number one. I never would have guessed. If you would have said what schools have been the preseason number one the most, I'd have put Texas there with Alabama. That blows me away. This is the first time they've been a preseason number one. Travis, did you see today that, and I think I read this somewhere, but I couldn't find it again to confirm it. This is the first time also that a preseason number one has been an underdog going into their first game.
That's actually on the rundown.
Is it really? That's maybe where I read it.
Yeah, the AP poll came out yesterday. So Texas is number one in the AP poll. Texas is number one in the coaches poll. You're right. It's the first time Texas has started the season ranked number one. And when the lines come out, this is like one of the most heavily bet college football games to start the season. They kick off against Ohio State in Columbus. Ohio State number 2 in the coaches poll, number 3 in the AP poll. And the number one team in the country is starting as an underdog, a 2.5-point underdog.
Yeah. So that's I think that's pretty cool that you've got that. And I do think that the Arch Manning, again, I would have picked that as my number one story. The Colorado thing, Travis, again, it's a good fourth option, but had this, it's not that it's getting old. I want to be careful here. Not stale. We're not getting tired of. Maybe some people are. We're getting to that tipping point. So yes, people are getting tired of the Colorado story.
What I'm intrigued about the Colorado story, and what intrigues me about it, and I don't know if it's my number 4. Obviously, the public sentiment right now on our X poll is it's number 4. But it is, how does Deion do without Travis Hunter? How does he do without Shedeur Sanders? What's his other son? I forget his other son's name.
Shiloh?
Is it Shiloh?
Shiloh Sanders?
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was that 3 that kind of dominated the headlines for the last 2 years. And now you're like, okay, you don't have your son. You don't have Travis Hunter, who was a Heisman Trophy winner, the best player in college football. And can you really coach is what it comes down to. I think he can, but it is intriguing to get. And let's not forget all the time he had off. You're talking about a guy that had cancer and was not on campus, was not around his players. Got better in Texas and hasn't been around. That's intriguing to me. And first coach fired is always intriguing to me because they are getting fired earlier and earlier now because of transfer portal, because of recruiting that has to take place, early signing periods. These coaches, if you're not cutting the mustard, you're gone. And Sam Pittman from Arkansas is on that list. Luke Fickell from Wisconsin's on that list. There will be Hugh Freeze at Auburn will be on that list. I mean, some big schools are going to be watching closely to see what their players do. And Bill Belichick, I mean, you're talking a guy in his 70s, takes his first college job. All four of those are pretty intriguing stories on a national basis.
Yeah.
What's the most intriguing story to you locally when it comes to either Iowa or Iowa State?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, for Iowa, it's how good is Gronowski going to be, and what does this team look like with dude, we keep talking about the changes on offense. They're replacing a lot on defense too. Now, I think as Hawkeye fans, we're just kind of in that mode of, well, the defense is going to be great.
Yeah, it's something we take for granted. Like
Ferentz and Parker's still there. We're good. We're good. That's all we needed. Those two names are all we need to hear, and the defense is going to be fantastic. And I fall into that too and go, okay, the defense is going to be good. Defense needs to be good. Offense needs to be a lot better. That's what that is. For Iowa State, Travis, we have to get past this cliche of like, well, it's the expectation. They're ranked in the top 25, and how does Iowa State handle that? They're used to this. They're used to being top 25 team preseason. Did you see that thing that I saw Bloom tweet out, and I actually saw Williams retweet it, but Bloom had tweeted out prior to Matt Campbell showing up. I'm paraphrasing this, so I might be a little bit off on some of this. Prior to Matt Campbell showing up, Iowa State had never been in a preseason top 25. They've been in 5 of the last 7.
That's consistency. That's expectation.
Consistency. Yes. And so for Iowa State, what is the storyline? In some way, it's got to be that big fish in the pan. College football playoff. Big 12 champion. All of those things are on those things are on the table, right? And so I think that it's not how do you handle those expectations. That's the wrong way to look at it, because that's something that you say the first couple of years that these expectations are there. This was the expectation last year also. This was the pie in the sky last year. But so to me, that would be the storyline out of Iowa State. Pie in the sky. Big 12 champions and college football playoff is on our horizon.
How do you finish? How do you get over that top?
There you go. How do we get to that point?
If you want to get more specific, it might be the receiving core replacing Higgins and Knoll. I mean, you've got the quarterback. I mean, the quarterback's not a problem. Let's go back to Iowa real quick, because you bring up Gronowski. I didn't bring it up yesterday because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. People making it went kind of national. And I'll bring it up today. Of course, they had the Kids Day over the weekend, and they were showing the bad snaps out of the shotgun that I think there were 3 in a row that Gronowski didn't handle, or it was a bad snap. And they're like, oh, this is what you paid for. You got $1 million court. I'm like, and when I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is typical fall practice stuff. This is where you work that stuff out. And people are like, oh my God, hit the panic button. Hit the panic button. This guy's not up to snuff.
I mean, Travis, I think there's somewhere in the middle. Okay. Had this if you saw this video in June or in spring practice, right? You go, plenty of time. We're a couple weeks out here.
Remember, he didn't go through spring practice.
What I'm saying is, as a fan, if you see this back then, it's really easy to go, we got a lot of time to fix it. When you see it a couple of weeks before the games are going to be starting, you're already preparing. You as a fan are preparing for your tailgates and trips to Kinnick, and you're getting excited. I mean, dude, have you Bus watched the thing on the Big Ten Network yesterday, and he's kind of been giving us updates on what some of the things that, because the Big Ten Network was in Iowa City. So fans are getting jacked about this. So when you start to see that stuff, you're like, oh, wait.
It's because you've been blindsided by a high prospect transfer portal quarterback before. You're like, oh, and you think, okay, now it's different. And then you see the bad snaps. You're like, oh.
I love what a fitting What a fitting transition for us here. Jeff Rains writes in, best local stories for football are Woodley's start at Drake and how Rocco does without his star receivers. It's exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because those two guys they're studs.
Oh, dude, you lost NFL talent. Yeah, right. You lost Sunday guys. And you started this segment by talking about Drake and Coach Woodley and what tough start.
Very tough start.
A lot of a lot of games going to show you where you are.
Yes and no. I mean, nobody expects a non-scholarship team to compete with those Valley teams. I mean, just competing in the past has been hard for Drake when it hits that level.
When we have Coach Woodley on here in a few minutes, I guarantee you he expects them to compete.
True. And was it last year Drake beat Eastern Washington, which was their first win over a scholarship 1AA team?
So I like that. I like the I like that you get out of the gate with some fire.
Again, if you haven't, we'd love to get your feedback. Votes coming in already. What are the most intriguing storylines in college football to start the season? Arch Manning at Texas, Bill Belichick at North Carolina, New Look Colorado, or the first coach fired. And everybody likes to pay attention to the first coach fired because that's like a shot. Because then it's usually a domino effect. It's like what school is going to do it first because people want to do it, and then once somebody does it, like okay, we can fall into line. Who do you think the first coach fired is going to be?
Dude, no idea.
I think it's going to be Luke Fickell.
You've said that name a couple times.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, hey, I didn't know about this. I was on Hawk Central today on the Des Moines Register site, and maybe this has been around for a while. I don't know. It's pretty cool, though, and I actually signed up for it. They got me with their marketing. Did you know there was and what's going to happen now is they're going to try to sell me a subscription left and right to the Des Moines Register, which I'm never going to do because it's so damn expensive. Like a private chat with Hines and Leisterkow.
Yeah, they've had the chat group for a couple years since I did Hawk Central with Chad.
I didn't know that, so I went ahead and signed up for it. And they're like, and I love it how we're not going to spam you. Okay, are you telling me I'm not?
No, and generally, people will tell you, I think, Trav, because I guarantee we've got people on here that are a part of it. It doesn't spam you. It is good information. Yep, I'm glad you signed up for it. And Chad does a great job with it.
But will they try to sell me a subscription?
And I shouldn't say just Chad, but Chad and Hines.
Yes.
Occasionally. Dude, did you see my post about my dad and his register?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude. One day my dad calls me and he's like, hey, can you come over and help me out? I'm like, yeah, what's up? Because I need you to come over and get the ladder out and get up on my roof or send Eli. And actually what I did was send Eli over to do it. Get up on my roof. The last 3 days, the Des Moines Register delivery boy has thrown my newspaper on my roof. I have 3 newspapers on my roof. Now, this had happened one time. This had happened about a week before also, where he had one paper up on his roof. I pulled in one day when my uncles were in town, and my uncle's up on my dad's roof. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, the paper boy is trying to throw the paper. What I'm guessing is he's trying to throw the paper from the driveway to the porch. He's throwing up in the middle of the night and not realizing that he's throwing it too high. Okay. So he had 4 papers up on the roof in the span of about 2 weeks. He calls me the other day. Can you come over here and get the ladder out? That damn paper boy threw.
You know, when I delivered the Des Moines Register, which I was a Des Moines Register paper boy, I was a bad one too, really bad, because I didn't understand money at that point. So back in those days, you had to go door to door and collect. So you deliver the paper every Sunday, but then you'd have your collection bag and you'd go knock on the door and say, hey, it's time to pay for your subscription. They give you cash or write you a check. And then I would end up at the arcade in Minden at the Minden Bowl and say, I've got all these quarters. I've got all these quarters. It's my money, right? No, it's not. Mom, I'm short again. Mom and Dad would always bail me out. They probably shouldn't have, but they're like, well, somebody's got to pay for the papers. But back when I delivered, you'd walk up to the door, you'd open the door, and just throw it in there and
right. What blows me away is I would imagine it's just like everything else with the register. They've had to have a bajillion cuts. They don't have the number of subscriptions that they did when you were. They might deliver as many papers around Des Moines as you did in Minden.
True.
So they probably have like 2 delivery people trying to drive all over the metro in the morning and fire papers all over town. So the guy's probably got seconds per house to roll up, chuck a paper, and race to the next. He's got to be one of like 6 people in Pleasant Hill that still get the register, right?
Yes. I asked that as a question. Yes.
So
looking for affirmation.
It both makes sense and blows my mind, because it's like, well, it makes sense because whoever the poor delivery kid is, or guy or person or lady, they probably have to deliver 1,000 papers in a minute, right? They're hustling. But there's also the doesn't make sense thing is like, you have so few customers. Why aren't you taking care of the ones you have?
I'm just trying to figure out how is he launching it from the street?
Dad has a ranch. So I think he's throwing it from the driveway. I think they at least pull in the driveway and then chuck it out of the door or something. Because Dad has a ranch house. There's a walkway that goes along a flower bed, and then there's the front porch. And so I think that he's trying to throw it under the front porch and just getting it too high.
515-517-2303. That's the number to call. We got an hour in the book. We come back. Joe Woodley, head coach of the Drake Bulldogs, scheduled to join us on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
At Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, we know that the only way to do business is the fair way. That means honest quotes, no surprises, and work that speaks for itself. From the first sketch to the final sweep, we keep you in the loop because communication builds trust, and trust builds beautiful spaces. Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, fair, skilled, thorough. Just the way it should be.
Brendan Santone, sales manager at Willis Cadillac, here with you in August, getting ready for back to school time and state fair. They have all kinds of great specials going on this month. Quite a few lease specials. EVs still have the EV tax credit through the end of September. I have quite a few to pick from. IQs, Optics, Lyrics, and the all-new Vistic as well. Stop out and see us over on 100th Street in Clive, or visit us online at williscadillac.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. It's good to have you here. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like. Also, start leaving your comments in the comment section. You can follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Our other
not only
social media channels.
Not only do you look better than me in the photo there, you're skinnier than me, and
I'm taller than you.
And you're taller than me. Then Mahari sends us those photos. Dude, I'm bald. I'm not balding. I'm bald.
No,
Why?
I'm bald. You have hair. You have hair. You know what you could do is just wear a hat. That's what Joe Woodley does. He just wears a hat. And he joins us this morning from his office.
What's
You're not
up,
bald,
Coach?
are you, Coach? Are you bald?
Come on.
Oh, full head of hair.
Have you ever seen the Woodleys all have amazing sets of hair. It's disgusting.
I don't know about that.
How's things at Drake, man?
Oh, they're going, man. We're a couple hours out of I think it's our 12th practice this morning. We've been at it a while, so because we open August 28th, so we got going a little bit early, and yeah, so we're writing, quote unquote, the dog days, and but can't wait to get out there. That's for sure. Been enjoying it.
Hold on, it's 7:03. You already ran them through practice this morning?
No, in a couple hours. 9 o'clock we start. We got meetings here starting at 7:30, and then we'll be out on the field at 9. They had taping, breakfast, all that stuff already. So, get up and get at them. It's not like it was back in our day. As I know I'm getting to that age. I had, I want to say it started to phase in my senior year of college at Iowa State, where you couldn't have them traditional 2-a-days. But them first several years I played at Iowa State, it was like 20 days of 2-a-days. I mean, it was crazy. And now you really can't do that. So we have about one little over 2-hour practice in the morning. And then we have a walkthrough later in the evening where you can't put pads on, can't have a football out there, all that. So it's so you got to make the most of the time that you have, and a lot of classroom work, and just trying to get these guys prepared because we're new, they're new to us, all that good stuff.
So, Coach, is that a self-policing thing, or is there actually somebody from the university that's keeping an eye on that to make sure the guys aren't wearing pads, or that you're not? I mean, how does that? How do they police that?
We've got a compliance office, and I wouldn't say that they're out there with a magnifying glass or anything like that. But at the end of the day, really, it's probably a good thing. I think there was probably some coaches along the way that probably abused the old rules, and again, it's still all about player safety, and this game's really never been in a safer spot, and I think these things feed into that, and it's a good thing. Like I said, it just tells you how far this game has come over the course of time, and just trying to keep guys safe and, protect this game because it is such a good game. And, it's like, I listen to you guys on the way in and, just the excitement that's in the air every year this time of year because everybody looks forward to it. They really do. Obviously, the fans do. And of course, this is what we do for a profession. So, you just can't wait to get going. You start to get those butterflies a little bit this time of year. Really, for me, it starts like right after the 4th of July because you realize like the summer is, it's coming to an end. You got a couple of weeks and then you're starting to come into the office to get prepared for what's coming. Not that you hadn't been doing that before, but it's pretty real at this point, and like for me, this kind of honeymoon phase is over. We're getting ready to play some football games over here at Drake.
Some real football games.
You bring up the rules, and I am intrigued by this because people may not know the difference. Football is football, right? X's and O's, you got to go out and execute. But you bring up some rules. What is the difference between NAIA and NCAA? And is there anything that you had to adjust to of what you could do by the rule book compared, or are they very similar? You laugh. You got that smile. There's differences. There are differences.
Yeah, I would just say there's just so many more people involved at the NCAA that and again, like I said, I think sometimes I think it's a little much. And again, I'm still pretty early on in this, Travis Ross, and trying to figure out a lot of this compliance type stuff. And and I think it's for good reason. A lot of it's the recruiting stuff. And again, who really knows where we're at with all that right now with the chaos that's kind of been going on the last several years. But, I think it's more so, I think it's really twofold. Number one is for, at least the restrictions that they have during the calendar year of what you can and can't do with recruits. I think it's good for obviously the players where they don't have coaches hounding them 24/7. They're just kids. And, and then on the flip side of it, I think it helps with coaches having a little bit more, I don't know if stable life is the best way to put it, but like really throughout the month of August, not that we would have had time for it anyway, but it was a dead period. You can't have recruits on campus. You can't go see that. You can't do any of those types of things because believe me, I'm sure places would find a way to do that because of those higher levels. They just have so many staff members and here, we're not like that. No, it was a big change. I don't know, big change is the right way to put it. I just came from a world where I hate saying there weren't rules because there certainly were, guidelines, and but it was just the enforcement of it maybe was a little bit different. But over here, my compliance guy is like 2 doors down from me. So, sometimes I even ask him if I can go to the bathroom sometimes. With the rules, but and then I've got coaches on staff that have been in the NCAA. It's just a world I haven't lived in since I was a player, and so I ask a lot of questions, and anytime something doesn't seem quite, I don't know if quite right's the right way to put it, but if I have to think about something, I'll either lean on one of them or maybe just go down the hall and just say, hey, can we do this, or that type of thing. So it's I haven't noticed a real major change, at least from the way I did things over at Grandview to here. Not a ton different. Calendars a little more sped up in this world, in the recruiting world, but it never ends. It just depends on how you want to look at it. So like we're still working on 26s where my guess, a good majority of like the power fours are already on to 27. I would say we'll be on to 27, hopefully by the turn of the year in January. And that's where we were behind a little bit when I got the job. We had to hang on 26s for probably a little bit longer than we hope to moving forward. But, again, that's part of the learning curve, part of the process, and a new staff. And but I feel like we're in pretty good shape.
Let's talk about the stuff that you do know a lot about and are comfortable with, and that's football. You got really tough schedule here to start the season. How do you get this team ready for these first couple of weeks?
Yeah, you practice, and really not try and look too much further than the end of your nose. And again, like I mentioned, we're a new staff, and yeah, we had some time in the spring with guys, but we also brought in a number of transfers, and obviously, freshmen that might help us. Traditionally, you don't want to rely on a bunch of freshmen to play, and but we did bring in some transfers, and from my understanding, that's just not a practice that they've done here in the past, at least on the football side of things. I think you can see what it did for the basketball program. I just think that's the world we're in right now, and I think we brought in the neighborhood of about 12 transfers. Not saying that they're all going to contribute, but I can tell you a lot of them certainly will, and that put us in a position to replace, because I did my research when I took the job, and just to see what the roster looked like, and they had 23 fifth-year seniors. So that's a lot of veteran snaps that they are losing. And I just felt that was important to replenish that a little bit. And while still having, maintaining the identity that they've had, and, continuing to believe in the guys that are already in the program, which we do. And they had a couple of injuries last year of guys that are back for us right now that I know they were counting on last year. So, it's it is what it is, and I feel pretty good about where our roster's at. So,
it's interesting when you took over for your dad at Grandview. You guys had the culture was established, not much changed there. Usually when coaches take over a program, it's in shambles, culture's bad. I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times. But you are taking over a program that has succeeded the last couple of years, had that success. Is that an easier than starting like from scratch and rebuilding everything? That you have players that know what the expectation is, have won before. That's got to help your culture in the transition a bit.
Yeah, I think so, Ross. And to be quite honest, that was one of those bullet points I had on reasons why I thought this was a good opportunity, because when you like you mentioned, a lot of coaches are getting jobs because you're trying to go in and clean up somebody else's mess. And I don't have much experience professionally, but I grew up around it. When my dad went to Iowa State with Coach McCarney, you talk about a place that was in rough shape, and I saw what needed to happen there. And the biggest thing is, to me, it's believe me, a lot of it is the talent that you have in the program. But really, it's just getting guys to believe they can win, and win in close games. It seems like early on, a lot in those Iowa State years, man, we found a way to lose a lot of those games, and but like you said, when you walk into a place like this, they've won a number of close games over the past 2 years, and they're still, believe me, we've still got a lot of guys back off those teams that have had a lot of the success here the last 2 years, and I think that's important. You're usually trying to change attitudes and just kind of change everything. And believe me, I am who I am. I've put I know what I know, and we're doing kind of the things that I've had success with. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to it's really, I always say it's the seniors team. It's their football team. How do they want to be remembered? And those are the guys that we're going to rely on heavily to create the success we hope to have this year. And I'm confident, that we'll have an opportunity in a lot of these games to do that. But, I heard you guys talking on the radio. Yeah, I'm sure you guys don't want to step ahead to them second and third games of the year, but like I said, we're worried about getting better today at practice and improving and taking care of that first game on August 28th. And because it's kind of a goofy schedule that we have, we play a game on a Thursday night. Obviously we don't play Saturday. Then we have another, or I shouldn't say another bye, but we don't play the following Saturday. That's a bye. Then we go to South Dakota State, go to South Dakota, and then have another bye. So kind of, and then we don't have a bye the rest of the year. We play 8 straight games after that. So, So it's kind of different, but again, I'm just worried about getting to meetings here in about 15 minutes and improving on the things that
we're
we
going to
did
suck up all that 15 minutes, by the way. We're going to make you late for a meeting.
Yeah, executive privilege. I suppose I can do that. And I can walk in late to a meeting, I suppose.
You've been able to still have a little bit of family time. When I talked to you the other night, you were at the fair, so you've at least been able to get out of the office from time to time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, again, kind of and I believe, we institutionally, I think over at Grandview, we had a mandatory day off, but we pretty much have 2 days off here, Thursday and Sunday throughout camp. And, so I think that's important. You got to have rest. You've got to you got to let bodies come back because, it's physical. When we're practicing at 9 a.m, so we haven't had too much heat. Yesterday was actually probably the first practice I was, as a coach was out there. I'm like, man, it's kind of hot out here, but, or humid, I should say.
Yeah.
Ross, I've never believed in that you have to be at this thing 24/7. You've got to have great balance to get the best out of people, players and coaches alike. And I just think that's a healthy spot to be in. And it's been good for us to this point. And I know the guys certainly look forward to that time off. And as you know, Ross, and not that it's not to anybody else, but family's been a pretty important part of my life. And I just want to make sure I'm spending time with them. And shoot, my youngest daughter, she's been up at about half the practices. She loves coming up here, and I certainly encourage that with all the coaches. Now the difference is, I think there's only 3 of us on staff that have children. I'm by far the oldest guy on the staff at 44. The next oldest guy is 32. So Kyle just had a baby. Coach Kemp just had his first baby. My defensive coordinator, he's got 2 real young ones. And then one of the kids that coached for me over at Grandview's with me now, Drew Adams, he just got married. So all kinds of life things going on this staff right now.
And he's not trying to sneak into practice and give you a bunch of advice, is he?
I'll tell you what, his attendance has been a lot better at Drake than it was at Grandview. I'll tell you that. Yeah, he's but he's an important piece to me, and for me to have, like I said, you just, loyalty is a big thing to me, and to have somebody I know that has that ultimate loyalty with me, right by my side is pretty important. And he's because he was on because he's part-time for us, and obviously you guys know he's got a full-time job and a family that he's got to support. He just does this
he has several full-time jobs.
Yeah, he does. He's into a lot of things. That's that entrepreneurial spirit of his. But he missed because they have that dead week, whatever, where high schools can't have anything prior to whatever date it is. I guess it's never applied to me. I've always been working. But he was gone the first few days, and he helps out with the wide receivers, and they were all out, they were all asking where A-Wood was, so I know he's certainly making an impact for us.
Good. So you mentioned loyalty. And I don't know if you heard him last week. You said you listened on the way in, so I'm just going to assume that you listen every day because I have that big of an ego. But we had Dan McCarney on, and he is one of your biggest rah guys, man. I mean, he brought you up right away. How much do you lean on Coach Mack, and just talk about that relationship, because he was so passionate, because he had heard us talking about you before we even brought him on.
Imagine that Coach Mack had some passion and energy and emotion.
Had energy, Coach, that we were worn out after the conversation. It was like we just went through a 30-minute like full body workout just interviewing him.
Yeah, I mean, it's he is something else. He's one of a kind. I think he's, I want to say 70. He just had his 72nd birthday, I think, because I think he and my dad are a year apart. They GA'd at Iowa together. My middle name's Mac after him, so I think there's he's always had a little bit of that love for me all through my life, and then of course the opportunity to get to play for him was really neat, really special. But to answer your question, Travis, I don't know how the guy does it. But I mean, if it's not it's for sure once a week for darn near my whole life. Well, I would say more so post college. It's a text or it's a phone call, and I know I'm not the only one he does that for, which is amazing. Like I'll talk to somebody that like yeah, I talked to Mac the other day, or we talked to Mac I'm on like 3 group texts with him with different groups, so I'm hearing from him all the time, and then of course during the transition from Grandview to Drake, I mean it was about every day. How's it going? This, that, and the other. My parents have had some health issues. He's calling every day about those things. And again, I know it's not just me he does that for, because I hear so many different stories about the guy. He was just one of those guys that God gifted to everybody. And, he just he's got that quality. You just want to be around him. You feel so much better after every time you talk to him, or like you guys said, you want to run through a wall for him. And here's a good story. So we recruited a kid here at Drake. He's with us now, and when I got one of my coaches brought the name to me, and I'm like, man, I recognize that name, that last name. And this kid's uncle played for my dad at St. Ambrose back in the day, and his dad played at Iowa for Coach McCarney, and So the kid tells me, I don't know, maybe a week ago, he's like, yeah, Coach McCarney's called me like 3 times. This is a player of a guy, Mac. I mean, it's just that's just who he is.
So he's recruiting for you, and you didn't even know he was recruiting for you.
Well, he called the kid's dad. He wasn't supposed to do any of those types of things. It was just an old friend. I just said, hey, Mac, do you remember, this guy? And he's like, oh yeah, he played for me, and rattled off 100 different statistics and the years and where he's from, and mom and dad's name, and da 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 da. And and again, that's just kind of his way of paying things forward. And he's just one of those people that I've been very blessed to have a part of my life, and he's been pretty influential to me. Obviously it's my dad, my brothers, and Coach Max. He's darn near. He's probably right behind that of people that I lean on with questions that I have, and because he did what I'm doing for a real long time at a really successful level, and somebody sent me. Because we were right in the heart of camp and all that, and I do listen to you guys, Travis, Ross, just so you know.
I know you do.
Ross made it way easy for me for a while. I didn't know how to get on there and do it, but anyway, somebody sent me that deal, and I listened to it, and of course I'm excited, and I loved when he talked about the badass thing of all the guys he coached. That was a great question, and then it's almost like he interrupted you guys at the end to talk about. To bring my name up. I'm like, my gosh, this guy's, he doesn't need to do those things. But again, like I said, he's just one of those guys that makes you, he just makes you feel better after every time you see him, talk to him or whatever. And he's got that unique quality that nobody can duplicate it. I feel like there's days I've tried to try, and I'm like, hey, just be yourself. Like nobody can be like that guy. He's just, but you learn things from him that you think, because he's such a high class individual. He cares about people. He's loyal, sometimes to a fault, but yeah, I was real appreciative, and I loved his attire that he had on that day.
Yeah, his muscles.
Muscle. Yeah, he loves to get out in that Florida sun. I know that, and he talked about his morning routine with you guys, and I've heard him talk about that he's just a machine. I mean, he's like he really is. He's like an alien. I don't know how to explain him.
I love hearing you say this though, Coach, because it's refreshing to know that it is genuine, that what we experience on a very, very small scale is his real self, because there is a part of me, I'm very cynical, where you get off with a guy like that and you go, man, he can really turn it on. And Travis and I even talked about it. We're like, man, I think that's him 365.
Oh yeah.
That's
100%.
Amazing. I'm really glad to know that thing about him staying in touch with you guys and staying in touch with, what a great perspective of how does he even do that with everybody?
I have no idea. I don't know if he has a huge notebook and he writes a to-do list every day to call 100 people, but it sure seems like he does. It's that is not turning it on.
He's got to be really good about that thing of if it goes through his mind, he does it. If he thinks about you, he's going to reach out. And
there's no procrastination with him.
Yeah, more people should do that.
It doesn't exist, and we went through some tough times at Iowa State, and I was only a part of a couple of years that were pretty rough, and we went to 3 bowl games, and I was fortunate to be a part of that. But to see what he did when my dad was there as an assistant before I got there, and then during those tough years that I was there, he was always the same guy. He might have notched it up a little bit if we weren't playing as well, but it was he was intense. Like you said, 24/7, 365. It's just it's who he is, and I know he loves to talk about that Irish heritage. So I'm glad you guys brought that up with him going over to Ireland, and he's going over there with 2 of my best friends, and so I'm glad he's getting to do that. I know he's always talked about that before, and because I've seen all these pictures of him in these St. Patrick's Day parades with his dad and one of his best friends' dad, and wearing a green suit, and he was like the marshal of some Iowa City St. Patrick's Day parade one time. He loves showing, and again, why have I seen these pictures? He sends them to us.
Look at me! Look at me! This is me.
I love it.
It's just who he is, and like I said, just real fortunate enough to be able to play for him and still have him around. And again, he and my dad were, they were best buddies. My mom cooked for him, cleaned for him for 2 years over at the University of Iowa when they were both graduate assistants. So Dad probably has the best perspective of Mac, knowing him when they were young, because I've certainly heard those stories.
I bet there's some good beers drank during those days.
Ones to hear when he was
bet
young.
they
I
could drink
can't imagine him with more energy, So.
All right, Coach. We know you got meetings in 4 minutes, so we'll hopefully you don't have to walk too far. But let's not don't be a stranger this season. Let's get you back on, and we'll talk Drake football during the week. And hopefully it's a little cooler today, and let's catch up soon.
Yeah, well, as you guys know, I appreciate you guys as much as anybody in this media world, and just from where I've been, and you guys have always been good to me, and certainly appreciate it. You guys do such a great job for this community, and can't thank you enough. And would love to get you out at that first game. I don't know what your guys' plans are, but Thursday, August 28th at 6:30, we play Upper Iowa. Should have a heck of a crowd, and hopefully the weather will permit that night, and see what Drake football is all about in 2025.
Thursday might make it impossible for me. I have to do a back and forth because I'm heading out of town, taking my daughter to college after that. But
hey, by the way, Travis, congrats, Grandpa.
Yeah, I'm a grandpa.
Holy cow, you are old.
Thanks.
Congrats. And you look great, man. I mean, how
thank
much
you.
Are you down? Good Lord.
I'm down 75 or 65. I think it's 75. I think it is.
Yeah, you look great, man. You look
Thanks,
great.
buddy.
Happy for you.
Thanks. All right, we'll catch up, Coach. Go
Kick
get
butt,
the
buddy.
meetings.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
It's Joe Woodley joining us on the Rush Radio Show. Good stories there. Good stuff.
I love that guy. He's got a lot of that Mac quality to him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that. What a good perspective too. Of I tried to be like that, and then I thought, no, be myself. We all want to be like Coach Mac, but man, that's what a refreshing thing to hear. That's real. That's not an act he's putting on. 24/7, 365. Coach Mac is Coach Mac.
What I would like to know is how many other coaches, because Coach Mac doesn't bring that up. We see the energy, right? But the constant contact. We hear coaches talk about, the relationships and building that. And sometimes we take a cynical approach. It's like, oh, it's just coach speak. But you wonder how many other coaches out in the stratosphere are like that, and you just don't know. Like they're always making sure that you're okay. You maintain. It's hard to do with every single player. I understand that, but does Kirk Ferentz do that? Does Matt Campbell do that? It's just interesting to see where that relationship ends, or does it keep going forever? Because it is a brotherhood. That is a brotherhood. You go to war for 4 or 5 years, going through practices, games, ups, downs, trials, tribulations, championships, losing seasons. There's a lot of relationship built there. 515-517-2303. We'll take another break. Come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's $25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Summer break is winding down and school is starting. Done on the drop-off line this year with a new Chevy from Willis Chevy. For the month of August, you get 0% financing on select TurboMax, Silverado 1500 trucks. And if an SUV is more your speed, you can take advantage of $299-month lease on the incredible 2025 Chevy Equinox. Get your back-to-school shopping done right at Willis Chevy in Granger, just 15 miles north of the metro. Stop into our showroom or visit us online at willischevy.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the RushRadio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hey, it's Marion with Willis Volvo Cars. With all those miles you put on your car over the summer and any last-minute road trips you have before school starts, your car might be ready for maintenance. Come on down to get an alignment for $179.95 and $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at willisvolvocars.com.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Are you looking for a first stop at the Iowa State Fair? Are you looking for a last stop at the Iowa State Fair? Are you looking for a middle stop at the Iowa State Fair? We have the location for you. It's JR South Pork Ranch, just south of the Bill Riley State.
Get ready to saddle up and eat at JR South Pork and Ranch. And really, it's more than just eat at JR South Pork Ranch. You are going to eat, dance, hang out, drink. JR's is home of the original Iowa State Fair lobster roll, and they've taken it up a notch this year with fresh lobster meat, topped with 3 dollops of creme fraiche, crowned with 3 heaping spoonfuls of caviar, and topped with 24 karat edible gold, served on a split top roll, served on a seared in decadent gold dusted duck fat.
Duck fat. Isn't it fun just to say creme fraiche? Isn't it fun to just say creme fraiche?
And duck fat.
And duck fat.
And that, but listen, that's the high roller stuff. You've got the party balls, you've got the chicken pickle ranch rocket, which when you order it, they just go, rocket. Can I get a rocket?
I'm going to be at JR South Pork Ranch on Saturday. I don't know if Ross is going to join me or not, but my son Owen and his band is going to be playing at JR South Pork Ranch from 2:30 to 4:30. And Ross, our mutual friend Pat, is going to be there. And he just texted me from France. And he goes, hey, just tell Ross I ate all the dessert. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a fun one to pass along to Pat.
I tried to get him to come on this morning and surprise you.
Ah, that would have been great.
He's such a private guy. You know, he does.
Yeah, I think he's in the CIA. I think that's where you guys probably are. You're probably coworkers.
Coworkers?
Yeah, friends. You mean work bestie. That's what you mean.
Did you see what broke the internet last night?
No.
Get ready for your eye roll. I mean, it is you. I could see a cynical Ross coming out over this.
Oh, okay. So I'll try not to be. Okay. Do you want me to? I'll try not to be.
It broke the internet. I mean, people going crazy on the socials, girls screaming, middle-aged Gen Xers going, "Oh my God!" Taylor Swift is going to be on the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelce.
The New Heights podcast is the Kelce Brothers podcast.
Yes, which is one of the most popular podcasts in the world.
I haven't listened to it at all. I like those guys. I'm not knock on them. I just said, why is it called New Heights?
I don't know.
Why don't they just call it the Kelce Brothers? Anyway. All right. So Taylor Swift is going to be on, and that she hasn't done that yet?
No. Matter of fact, this is going to be her first interview. They teased it last night. It's her first interview since 2023. When she was the Time Person of the Year. She doesn't do a lot of interviews. She's a pretty pretty private person.
Get the out of here. Get out of here. She's a pretty private person.
As private as a mega superstar could be.
Thank you. Thank you for running it through that very important filter. This person who gets up on stage in front of millions of people, who you can name dozens of her personal relationships. I can tell you boyfriends she had when she was a teenager. John Mayer was right. I mean, didn't she date?
She dated a lot of people.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't even know her that well. I'm not even a fan, and I know. But she's a very private person. This is like when I see Howie Mandel as a germaphobe out on the stage at America's Got Talent. Sure you are, guy. Sure you are. Oh, okay. So Taylor's very private. Yeah, she hasn't done an interview since 2023. So she doesn't. So I wonder what's new in her life.
Well, you should ask. Here's a shocker. She's launching a new album. And then she held up the vinyl, but they had it covered. They're like, we're going to unveil the artwork of said cover.
That's cool that she's doing that on his podcast. That's, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't need. I mean, Taylor Swift could launch an album in any form or fashion she wanted, right? She could launch a new social media and say, hey, my album is only available on Swifty.com. And what would happen? A jillion people would download a new social media to do it. So she doesn't need. I think that's cool that she's. I'm trying not to be cynical about it because I'm not a hater of either one of these people. I don't hate Taylor Swift. Kind of like.
I've seen Taylor Swift in concert. It was actually a really good show. It was the 1989 tour. I saw her at Wells Fargo, or now the Casey Center, but it was Wells Fargo Arena at the time. And my girls loved the show. My whole thing about this is, how does this go down? Does Travis go, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? And does she say, well, have your people go through my people to line this up? I mean.
Oh, man, isn't that's funny to think about? Oh, I'd love that. Can we check schedules?
Because there's a PR machine behind this.
Yes, not this, and I don't want to be cynical about like their relationship is all fake and all that.
No.
Like that's an all PR thing. But absolutely, there was. I wonder. I mean, this could have been as innocent as he knows she's working on a new album. He knows that she's getting ready to launch it. What if he even kind of jokingly, or Jason said jokingly, maybe they'll talk about it on the podcast.
Because
how'd this come out? What if Jason, was just hammered one weekend, like, Taylor, you should come on a podcast. You should, in fact, you should launch a new album on the podcast.
You're part of the family now. You wonder if it's the first time they've asked her to come on, because I'm sure that's hey, you need Tay-Tay on. Well, I don't want to cross their boundaries. I don't want her to feel like she has to.
You're not exploiting the relationship at this point. Is it?
Well,
I don't think it. Now
that you're 2 years in, if it's like 6 months after they started dating, you're exploiting the relationship. You're 2 years into this now, and we're just going to take it that you're a couple, and for the most part, living together, right?
So since she hasn't done an interview since 2023, has she not done an interview since they started dating?
Basically, yeah, not like a long form sit down one. Or if it was, it would have been, right after they were dating, because she was the Time Person of the Year in 2023. And rightfully so. I mean, you can't argue the fact that her Eras World Tour was incredible. I mean, 3 nights in like domed stadiums. I mean,
what did you say? She was the what person of the year?
Yeah, the Time Person of the Year.
And
Time
you said
magazine.
you said you shouldn't have a problem with that because she had a successful tour?
Well, no, just for how big she was. I mean, she was.
Yeah, that makes you person of the year?
I think when they look at that, it's who has influence, who's driving culture.
I think it's who can we put on the cover that's going to sell the most magazines and get the most clicks.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with, who was the closest to Mother Teresa and Jesus? Who did the most good in the world? Who was the person of the year? Well, who's got the most followers? Let's start with that. She was Time's Person of the Year.
Person of the Year.
And you just said, which I can totally understand because she did have that real successful tour.
Yes, I can understand it because she influenced. I mean, she has so much influence. I didn't know about this till I flipped on my Facebook this morning, and there's literally a girl crying. I mean, bawling like, I can't wait till Wednesday. I'm like, okay, I'm not that fanatical about anything, but I'm like, man, I'm trying to think what overtakes somebody to where they're in tears.
This has been happening, buddy. This is a pop culture phenomenon that's existed. It used to be called Beatlemania.
Or Elvis too.
Again, the New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. I remember girls crying over Justin Bieber and New Kids on the Block and and One Direction and the Monkees. That's a phenomenon. That's a phenomenon that's been happening for a long, long time.
Were you ever around people that had that phenomenon? Like, I mean,
one of my best friends growing up, his sister, we called her nerdy, love her to death. But my buddy's sister is New Kids on the Block obsessed.
Like even today, you think?
Today goes on cruises. Goes on like New Kids on the Block theme. I mean, she loves it. It's and embraces it. Has a lot of fun. Has met all of the members. Has photos with all of them. You know what I mean? And that's what she enjoys doing. So God bless her, because I like seeing people have fun and enjoying their life. And man, she has figured out what she enjoys and she chases it. And I think that's really cool. So, this thing of, I don't know. It's a phenomena. It's cool. I can't explain it. I don't know if it is. Is it in some way? It's the same thing that we do with athletes. We all have a favorite athlete. Mine was Don Mattingly.
But would you have bawled like a baby if you came in contact with?
Dude, I'll tell you what. There was a time in my life I probably would have.
I'm sure kids with Caitlin Clark, we see the emotion when they get around Caitlin Clark.
Great example. Great example of it. I mean, people will get emotional around Kirk Ferentz.
And this isn't just good for the Kelsey's podcast. Not that it needed a lot, but they got a lot of listeners after he started dating Taylor Swift. But it's also good for the National Football League. I use my daughter Abigail as an example. I mean, Abigail listens to the New Heights podcast now because of Taylor Swift. Totally went there. She's like, oh, Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce. I'm going to listen to this. And now she listens to it.
And they're entertaining guys. I mean, they are. Jason Kelce's a fun dude. Travis Kelce seems like a fun guy. So But I've never listened to it. I wonder why they called it New Heights. Better than Dudes on Dudes.
Dudes on Dudes, Jules. So there you go. Broke the internet.
Which I wondered where you were going with that, with it broke the internet thing. And then as soon as you said Taylor Swift, it was like, oh, that
makes sense.
That'll do it. She's going to launch a new album. So will she just, I'm wondering what that'll look like. You mean she'll just like announce what it's called and like?
Showgirls is the name of the album. So we already know the title of the album. She just covered up the. I know. Remember the movie Showgirls? I do.
No. Nope. Don't remember Jesse Spano. I mean, no, never saw it.
Jesse Spano naked. You don't remember Jesse Spano naked?
No. Tell me more. Was it a good movie?
Well, you know who the hottest one in that movie was? Gina Gershon.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen it.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, because as soon as we knew that Jesse Spano was going to be naked, every guy from that time period that grew up watching Saved by the Bell went, I'm going to go watch Showgirls.
Yeah, you're right. You got me. You got me, okay? I'm guilty.
And you only watched it because Jesse Spano was naked. And I don't even know her real name. I just know her as Jesse Spano.
It was a really bad movie. It was a really bad movie.
It wasn't Superman bad. I didn't walk out because I want to see how many more times I was going to see her naked.
I didn't walk out because I knew there was going to be more boob. Remember her thrashing around in the pool scene?
Yes.
Oh, okay. New Heights is the name of the town where the Kelsey brothers grew up in Ohio. Thank you, M-Town Booker. Appreciate that. I knew there had to be a reason for.
I mean,
that's good.
Nobody's claiming they've seen Showgirls. Every guy on
just me and you. It's just me and you, Trav. Yep. Just me and you saw that movie.
And the thing about Showgirls, I don't stop to watch it when it's on replay on television because they don't show the boobs. You either have to watch the unedited version, the non-television, because if you just watch the television edited version, you're like, why am I watching this?
It's not a movie I'd ever seek out. Saw it. I'm with JT. JT and I are about the same age. I think I'm actually about 10 years older than JT, but he says he saw it as a youth and agrees Gina was hot and the movie was terrible.
Might have ruined her career. Not that she had a major career anyway.
I don't think there was much there. I really don't.
I mean, I think she only got the gig because she was Jesse Spano.
Most of those Saved by the Bell, it wasn't like that worked out for a lot of them. I mean, long term as an acting career. The one went on to 90210.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen, who's now, I follow her on Instagram. One, because she's still really hot, and she does like cooking stuff. I follow her for her recipes.
Oh yeah, you follow for the recipes. Like that's the second thing you mentioned.
It's the content, Ross. It's all about the content. Just saying. While we're talking about content, just an update. Flomax side effects are real. Just to let you know.
And by the way, I called it. I called it. I told people we're going to get updates on this even when we don't ask. I told people that. I said, Travis,
I thought that was a good place to insert it.
Travis is going to keep us up to date on this thing in places that we never wanted to be updated and tell us things that like TMI. You know, remember that thing I shared with you right before we came on the air? Remember? And I shared some very personal TMI stuff with you.
Did I bring that out? No,
because that's why I didn't do it on the air.
I mean, why? Because, I think people are concerned about my health and they know that I share things and,
Then we're not concerned about your health. Just so we all are, we see the picture that pops up now that where I'm the fat one, I'm short, I'm fat. I'm now the fat, bald, short one. Travis is the good-looking, tall, skinny, buff grandpa. He's got that grandpa glow about him. Everybody has turned the page on Travis's health. We're like, Travis is healthy. Good. Now we can worry about Ross's mental health because that's been a concern for a long time. We've been keeping that on the second page here. The skinny fella's hurting.
I'm just concerned about you eating ham and cheese sandwiches and having bad bowel movements.
See, there we go. There's the TMI thing. I did have a good experience last night. Can I start? So
absolutely.
We're painting Audrey's room. And last night we went to go get the paint. And out and about, Audrey's like, Dad, I like Hardee's. Because I found out that Hardee's has hot ham and cheese sandwiches, and I like those. Can we stop at Hardee's? I'm like, yep, there's one right by the store we're going to. No problem. So we swing in. I decided I was going to get a roast beef, order Audrey a ham and cheese. We turn around, and it was pretty late. It was like probably 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. Turn around the corner and get to the window, and the lady says, hey, I actually had several more ham and cheese sandwiches in the warmer. I just gave them all to you. So here you go, right? Because, thank you very much. Very nice of you, okay? Drive off, get home, open the bag. There are like 4 ham and cheese sandwiches in there. There's no roast beef.
And you can't go back and say, hey, you missed the roast beef because they gave you the 3 sandwiches.
Exactly. I got 4 sandwiches. I paid for 2, but I didn't get the one I paid. I don't like ham and cheese. I don't really like fast food. So I ate the hot ham and cheese sandwich for dinner last night.
How'd that work out for you?
Not good this morning.
I know. I was worried about you. You came on and you're like, hey, man. I'm like,
you could see it.
I could see it.
Yeah. Like, I got to go. So, anyway, now we shared that on here, too.
See? We share our lives. That's what we do.
This guy.
Just saying. Caitlin Clark, an update on Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever in action tonight against Dallas. Caitlin Clark still not going to be in uniform. The Fever are beat up. Ross, she's still not practicing with the Fever. So she has not played since July 15th. She's still not practicing. She's doing some full court running, but that groin injury is still lingering. A month off. Obviously, just by the length of time, you could say it's being, cautious. But to me, the injury was a lot worse than maybe we are ever going to fully understand or know. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I said that when it first happened, right? When she first got hurt and we saw that grimace and wince, I said, if she's hurt, they're not going to tell us. They can't. There's an industry behind her name. And if there's something big, they won't tell us. I do think that it's only been a month, right? And if you did have if it is just a serious groin strain, that requires, we did also say this, you're better off keeping her out of competition until she gets back to 100% health. Because, man, at 100% healthy, she's amazing. And if you're out there and you're risking that long-term amazingness, then that's a dumb gamble. So I have not paid attention, Trav. Can you keep me up to date, or can you update? Are the Fever still in playoff contention?
Oh, yeah. They're very much in play. They've won 6 of the last 8 games, but in the last game, Ari McDonald, who took Caitlin's place at point guard, out for the season, broke a bone. Another player out with an ACL. They had to bring 2 people in off hardship yesterday. So you're basically down to a skeleton roster.
That's a triage unit at that point, too.
Yes.
I agree. And a lot of the comments are saying the same thing. I do believe the best thing to do is just shut her down. If it's not something really major, then the best thing to do is to get her healthy and then let her come back.
Yeah,
I don't know if you shut it down for the season. I've seen a lot of people saying that, like, hey, just time to shut it down for the year. I think that you have to be worried about that long-term thing, obviously. But I don't think that right now the instinct should be, all right, shut it down for the year. If she can come back and help you through a playoff run, even in some capacity, again, don't know enough. We know about 1% of this situation.
Yes. But they're taking on Dallas tonight. Of course, Paige Becker is part of the, there's a lot of people that wanted to see that Caitlin Clark, Paige Becker's matchup, and they just haven't seen it this year. It's just, it would be good for the league, but it's interesting. I have not watched, now I pay attention to what's going on, but I have not watched a WNBA game since Caitlin went out. She was the reason I watched the WNBA, just to follow her to see, how good she played, how good she, I just have not taken the time to watch a game.
And I hate that my brain is automatically making this connection. I hate it. I want to say it up front. I don't like what I'm about to do. And if Travis did it, I'd probably say, why do we always have to do that? But when you said I haven't watched the WNBA since she went out, something occurred to me. I haven't had any Angel Reese stuff pop up in my timeline.
She's been hurt too.
Okay. I didn't know that. But I just was like, wait a minute. Caitlin's out and and Angel Reese has been off my timeline as well. She's not, when I scroll through now, I see nothing. Very, very, very little WNBA stuff.
But yeah, in that transition from college to pro, obviously is real. The physicality of the game, I hate that word physicality, but there's no other way to put it.
It's a thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Is completely different. And, when you do this as a job, the strain and wear and tear on the body is completely different. Dude from Iowa says we end up getting the WNBA League Pass because his wife likes watching all the games now.
That's very cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I shouldn't jump in and assert my opinion onto that comment. I'm assuming dude is saying that he enjoys it as well. I would think that's a pretty cool thing that now you and your wife get to enjoy watching that together. I think that's a cool thing.
I think he just goes in the garage and drinks Busch Light. What are you doing tonight, sweetheart? Oh, you're watching a game? I'll be in the garage.
He says it's nice filler as we wait for football. It's good attitude.
Very good attitude.
What you playing today? Got anything going on?
Meetings. That's about it. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Good to have you along on the Rush Radio Show. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tell everybody about the show. You can find it at therushladio.com and the replay of the show wherever you download your podcasts. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on therushladio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Sean McFarland, Service Manager here at Mini of Des Moines. It's August, and while most of Iowa has shifted their attention to corn dogs and butter cows, us here at Mini of Des Moines are still focused on making sure your Mini is running properly and well-maintained. Please give us a call or schedule your appointment online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.